Joining this session on access to affordable utilities. My name is Kristen Carrion, and I'm the Assistant Director of Operation Support for the Federal Housing Programs Department. I will be moderating this discussion alongside Susan Ramos-Sossman, who is our Assistant Director of the Community Development Initiatives Department. And so first I wanted to take some time to discuss why this goal is important. We know that energy and water bills are rising quickly and at a faster rate than income, which places low-income residents in vulnerable positions to meet these costs. So through a survey conducted by our Policy and Planning Department, we found that a majority of clients ranked access to sufficient utilities as a #1 importance of outcomes for SAHA to focus on. In response, we established a committee focused on designing strategies to address this concern, which resulted in 3 key areas. 1, reducing disruption in utilities, which is connected to #2, increasing access to utility subsidy programs and other resources. And 3, increasing digital connection, which SAHA has announced and begun execution on through installation of Wi-Fi access for all public housing properties. Many of these strategies are in collaboration with the local agencies we have representation from here today, but we have the opportunity to hear about some other strategies they are engaging in. So I'll allow our panelists to introduce themselves at this time, beginning with Laura.
Hi, I'm Laura Jacobs. I work with CPS Energy, and I am the Interim Senior Manager of Customer Advocacy. I have a team that is responsible for going out in the community, providing education on CPS Energy's programs and initiatives, additionally into providing a concierge type of support for our small to medium business customers and for some of our customers that have unique situations residential-wise.
Thank you, Laura. Greg, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, yeah, thank you. My name is Greg Wukash, and I am the External Affairs Manager with the San Antonio Water System. Been there for about 22 years now. So I love working in water and serving the community. As part of my role, oversee the affordability programs, the assistance programs for our community. Also our youth education program that goes out into the schools, and then also our outreach team that does various events around the city. So yeah, just glad to be a part of this panel today and this important discussion. Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you, Greg. And Candelaria?
Hi, good afternoon. Thanks again for inviting me. Candelaria Mendoza. I'm Smart City Coordinator at the Office of Innovation at the City of San Antonio. I oversee the Smart SA program along with some of my colleagues, but I'm currently helping lead a digital inclusion effort, the Connected Beyond the Classroom project that was approved by Council last year as part of the Recovery and Resiliency Plan due to COVID.
Thank you so much. Well, before we get started on our discussion, I did want to remind everyone watching that they can submit any questions they have throughout the discussion through the Q&A box that's located at the bottom of the Zoom window. So, and we'll be reading those questions at the end of our discussion and answering them. So, we know that the Department of Housing and Urban Development has defined affordable housing as 30% of a household's adjusted gross income toward rent and utilities. Now, researchers have actually struggled to find that definition for affordable utilities specifically, and those reports range from anywhere from 6% of annual gross income to 11% of annual gross income. So I wanted to start there and talk about what your agency considers affordable for utilities.
I'll go ahead and start. Affordable utilities hasn't been defined, by CPS Energy as a percentage of income. We just simply do our best to ensure that we're doing the best thing for our ratepayers. Affordable utility simply is ease of access to our electric and gas service for all of our households. whether it's a household that can easily afford their utility bill or disadvantaged families that can benefit from specialized programs developed to assist them. At CPS Energy, we have a set of guiding pillars that lead our business practice focus. They're reliability, customer affordability, security, safety, environmental responsibility, and resiliency. All of these pillars stand on our foundation of being financially responsible, specifically for our customers and our community. All of our business decisions are based on our commitment to being one of the best managed and most fiscally responsible utilities in the nation. Affordability is always top of mind when making business decisions, whether it's considering new construction practices, procurement of commodities and services, or determining just specifically what our generation fuel mix should be. CPS Energy, we are currently the largest municipality in the United States, and we have one of the lowest energy rates amongst the top 10 cities in the nation. So that's truly what our focus has always been, what we strive to be as not just our community, but for a pace setter in a global economy.
Yeah, and kind of the same thing in the water space for the San Antonio water system. I'll actually give you a definition, because there is a Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, definition of affordable water for utilities. And this is their definition: the ability to pay for water services without foregoing other essential goods and services such as food and healthcare. And that's their definition, right? And the water utilities have kind of been using that for a long time. In fact, there's actually a formula called the Financial Capability Assessment, and it's been used by EPA for decades. And essentially, they look at it as a wastewater bill greater than 2% of the median household income, and a water bill greater than 2.5% of the median household income. And that's kind of their definition, right? But as you mentioned, there's this great conversation that's going on nationally that SAHS is a part of, about what is affordable water. What does it really mean? Is that still the definition? And really, EPA is even rethinking that definition. They're even rethinking their metrics. There's been some work done over the last couple of years about that, whether or not that's really what we're going to move forward with. So yeah, at SAHS, we haven't really put a definition to it as well, but we are part of that conversation nationally to talk about what is affordable water. And we'll talk more about it later, but we have definitely put some programs in place to be able to help our neighbors who are in need here in San Antonio.
Yeah, and for us, I think it's about, for the city, it's about kind of being a partner to those agencies and to the community and dealing more with reality, right? We all understand that there's an issue of what people can't afford in the community, and what they're telling us is an issue or a struggle for them. I think with us, specifically in the space of digital inclusion, it is one of the areas that we're spending a lot of time on, because it's not just about having access, that you can go and sign up for internet. It's whether I can actually go and afford it, or what can my money get me. So now it's more about an issue of rationing out, getting data plans that, hey, is that going to get me through the whole month? Am I going to have to do only a few things? And especially during this space of COVID, where we got pushed to this very digital world and distance learning, and all of our kind of our backup plans to go to a community center or go to the libraries, those accessibilities are just not as available right now. So what does that mean as far as being able to get access? And again, it's about what people can actually afford to pay for things like that. And does it compromise quality if I'm paying for something that's given to me at a discounted price?
Yes, absolutely. And I wanted to follow up on that, Candelaria, because we had a really great question come in through our last strategies work group meeting. And it was regarding some discount plans that are available through AT&T or Time Warner, and the fact that they're discounted, but for a limited time, right? They're very much similar to normal contracts where you get a special price for a year, and then the price goes up again. Is there any conversation about changing the way those discount plans work for low-income individuals?
So I think we're definitely part of that national conversation. I think a lot of it has to change in that local government has very little control over what the ISPs offer. And so it's about using our voice to encourage and advise and consult and collaborate with our local internet service providers and what they're offering and making sure that it meets the needs of our community members. I mean, just to kind of state it in a little bit more of a broader context, the internet isn't yet categorized as a public utility. So it is kind of open to the free market. And I think that's where a lot of our struggles stand, in that the free market hasn't made it so that everybody has access and that it's meeting all the needs of the community members across our community. So a lot of it is, obviously taking advantage of those systems, because something is better than nothing. So those programs are awesome, take advantage of them and use them. But we do know that they come with some challenges in that it's that, how many people can get on this data plan? How long is it going to last you? Are students, getting to kind of these caps where now they still have a couple of weeks to go and their data plan is over. So yeah, we're definitely having conversations both on a legislative level, state level, and a local level on what we can do to make a more sustainable plan. The Connected Beyond the Classroom, I think, is one aspect of that. We have been charged with working in collaboration with 8 school districts and 50 priority neighborhoods using data that we received from a survey that we did right before COVID that identifies where those most disconnected are, to help connect up to 20,000 students back to their schools network. So we're hoping that through that partnership, there'll be some lessons learned of being able to provide this sustainable broadband that students will have access to in the home 24/7 without a data cap. So we're hoping that their experience on the internet is going to be solid throughout their use, and we'll keep monitoring that and pulling in information that we can share with both all of our partners and, of course, the community. So again, it's just one potential solution to a long-term vision. But again, it's going to take a lot of collaboration and effort across public and private to really find a solution that's going to fit for everyone, because the Connected Beyond the Classroom is currently focused for students only.
Yes, absolutely. And you touch on something that kind of leads me to my next question, which, throughout the symposium today, we've been discussing SAHA's agency value of housing as a human right. And we have seen that HUD's definition does include utilities as part of that housing, right? Rent and utilities. So how is that definition of utilities as a basic human right changing to incorporate digital inclusion?
I mean, I think that's kind of where the conversation is now, that we need to make that shift. I think COVID definitely gave us an opportunity to mess with the status quo a little bit, there was definitely already a lot of advocates, a lot of work. We already understood that there's this huge digital divide and it's impacting our community. And not only that, but it's kind of at this core when we talk about, inequality and social justice. At the end of it, you can find digital inclusion kind of at its core, because it has such a strong tie to economic development, to education. If you think about it and why, gas and electricity and water got classified as a public utility, is because if somebody doesn't have it, it affects all of us, right? So the internet is gotten to that point where we all are going to benefit from having everybody connected, and we're all going to suffer if we continue to have people that are disconnected. So we really need them all to be on this platform to kind of open up the opportunities that we all will have as a society if we give them this tool that opens up the world in so many different ways, to telehealth, to education, to job and workforce development. There's really nothing that you can do now if you don't have access to this amazing tool that's called the internet. So we really need to continue to push to have it be classified as a public utility. And I'm hoping that the silver lining in this pandemic will be that we did this with the internet.
And I was going to mention too that it's interesting. I love that that thought process. 2 years ago, we kind of decided that we really needed to go, internet and allow people to be able to get on and fill out an application for assistance programs, right? Because we realized, people have been doing this for a long time, but we realized the fact that it would speed the process up. And what we can do in paper copies, mailing in and then mailing back and those kinds of things takes so much longer than what we could do sort of instantaneously. And we had these whole discussions about the digital divide, how many people actually have access and those kinds of things. And, we could have talked about it forever and ever and ever, but we at some point we had to say, listen, we've got to move forward with this and sort of make this transition and then sort of begin to bring people along. Not that we're not going to offer, still paper copies and those kinds of things, but there is that opportunity to have to kind of say, okay, now's the time, we got to do it. And I'm really thankful that we did that 2 years, not knowing about COVID and all of that this year, with service centers having to limit numbers of people that come in and pay bills and things of that nature. It's been really, really amazing that we've seen that. And it's almost been like a lab a little bit to kind of see what that's going to look like moving forward into the future. So it's been really important.
Definitely, we at CPS Energy, we understand how the Internet of Things has evolved our global network, right? We're a utility leader. We've expanded our digital inclusion by providing access of a range of digital content to our communities and customers. Members of our community can learn about various initiatives CPS Energy is supporting. We try to be very transparent in what we're doing and what we're doing for our future. So we have information on our flexible path, what we're doing environmentally. We have an environmental sustainability and stewardship report that's online that people can that have interest or just want to find out more about what we're doing, because we do have a range of generation fuel that we have, and so there's environmental responsibilities that are associated there. We have a new rates advisory committee. We're taking applications now. Our general public, we're seeking membership from our community so they can continue to provide us insight. And rates advisory is one of those very important things in regard to affordability. Our customers have access to account their consumption and other services like reporting light out or vegetation issues, all online. As a basic human right, we understand that there's a digital divide, and not everyone has the ability to navigate through the many offerings that we provide online, whether it's lack of devices or digital literacy challenges. CPS Energy, we have two mobile customer support centers that provide free Wi-Fi and access to staff whenever we're out there using them. These are pop-ups that are in the community. We provide education to customers on our residential programs, public safety. We also provide support in navigating on our online services when you come and meet us at one of these mobile support centers that are in the community in our various in our service district. We also have taken the digital inclusion as a step further by offering our customers an opportunity to meet with us through virtual satellite office hours. So we CPS Energy are hosted at the Bazan Library, the Neighborhood Place, and West Avenue Compassion Center. During the satellite hours, you can meet with us. You can meet with our customer response unit. They will provide account support, utility assistance support. We're there to be able to help you find and fill out applications, support customers through an entire bundled support process. And that's how we are trying to tackle that digital divide and ensure that we have content that's widely available online. But if you need that specialized support, come in and meet us. We're available virtually in your community.
Thank you. It's amazing, to see that we're all like in the same boat. We work in isolation and we think that our agencies are trying to tackle these issues. And then we have this conversation and we see that we're all, in the same boat. We're all trying to develop strategies to get through, these changes that we've been faced with. Greg, you mentioned, you kind of gave a little teaser, and it led me to my next question. You mentioned that they can use technology to access the applications to your affordability programs. Can you talk a little bit about what programs SAHS has to address affordability?
Yeah, thank you. A couple of years ago, my vice president, Gavino Ramos, and our CEO, Mr. Robert Puente, they kind of tasked me with this idea of looking over our assistance programs and maybe doing something a little bit different. And so they gave me the thumbs up, and I just said, let's do this, let's go for it. And so what we did was we actually kind of looked through our entire organization, and we found every opportunity we had to assist our neighbors that are in need. And so and I love Laura just used this word, I'm going to steal it from her real fast, bundle. We sort of bundled it all together. We combined it all together, and we created a new initiative, a new program that we call Uplift. And it is Uplift, helping our neighbors in need. And so it does actually include 14 different initiatives that we can help out different neighbors who are dealing with different issues in water and paying water bills and those kinds of things. And I'm just going to mention just briefly a couple of the big ones. And for our affordability discount program, which is it reduces your monthly water bill from $4.90 up to $28.35 per month. And that's a monthly thing based on your income, based on the number of people in your household. And then also Project AWA. A lot of people have heard about our Project AWA program. That's our emergency assistance program. We made some changes a couple of years ago, and so now you can actually receive that twice a year, up to $115 twice per year. So $230 in a given year, every 6 months. That starts over again. And then we have our plumbers to people, laterals to people, where neighbors can actually receive assistance fixing plumbing appliances. And even, this is one that a lot of people don't know, your lateral line, your sewer lateral, right down the middle of usually down the middle of your yard, we can actually give you some assistance in repairing that as well. And then last but not least, like I said, there's 14. I won't go through all of them, but probably my favorite one, the one I get really excited about, is agency referrals. Our team that we put together, I love what they do because they look holistically at how we can help our neighbor, not just necessarily water. So when we're talking to them on the phone and we're assisting them, we also are able to ask some key questions to find out maybe they need some additional assistance. For example, they have pets, and we've learned that a lot of people will actually make sure that their pets are taken care of with pet food before they pay their water bill, right? And so one of the things we'll do is we have some partners with some different organizations in town where we will connect them immediately to those organizations, give them a phone number, give them a name, where they can actually go and get pet food for free in some cases, so that then that can free that money up in order for them to be able to pay their water bills. So I'm really proud about that one with our team, because they are so good at sort of holistically helping our neighbors and asking those key questions in all of those areas. But of course, we do have those assistance programs to help out immediately with that financial assistance. So those are some of the things that we do have going on as part of our Uplift initiative.
Oh, Susan, you're muted.
Am I there? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So in order for people to be eligible for Uplift, they would have to have a SAHS bill. So if they live in an apartment and they're paying their water bill through their rent, then they wouldn't be eligible for Uplift. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. That is. Thanks for bringing that up, because you do have to have be a SAHS customer, pay a SAHS bill in order to be a part of that program. But if you are, then yes, we have all of that available for you, and our team would be more than happy to look at your income level and see if you do qualify for that. And you can find that at sahs.org, www.sahs.org/uplift, and you go there and you'll see our entire program.
Thank you. And Laura, I know that CPS has programs available as well. Can you tell us a little bit about your affordability programs?
Yes, we have your normal run-of-the-mill type of managing home budget type programs where if you call us, we can help make payment arrangements and so forth. We have our budget payment plan that helps to ease the burden of sticker shock every month to month. We'll normalize what your consumption was from the previous year and create a standard payment amount for a 12-month period. But we also like to ensure that we have programs that help in regard to conservation of energy use, right? And with conservation of energy use, that reduces your monthly energy bill. And so we have free programs like our Casa Verde program. I see a question in here that asked, they heard that our Casa Verde bill was postponed for a period of time, and I'm happy to announce that we have resumed our Casa Verde services. And if you don't know what Casa Verde is, it's a weatherization of a single family home or a duplex or whatnot. But so landlords can also benefit from our weatherization services as long as the tenants qualify for the program. And the program is at a 200 federal poverty level income guideline. So it's a two-part qualification. So you have to qualify income-wise, and then you have to your house has to qualify. It's not a home repair program, it's a weatherization program. So we need to ensure that you have a solid foundation, you have solid roofing, and then we'll apply weatherization measures that will help keep the home weather tight and you'll be comfortable in the winter and the summer months. And on average, we install about $5,000 worth of weatherization incentives into the home. And that's just an average. Sometimes we do more, it just depends on what the house needs. And it's all free. There's one major misconception in regard to our Casa Verde program is that it applies a lien to your house like some of the COSA programs, but we do not apply a lien. We don't require that you stay in your home for 10 years or whatnot, like some of the other programs that are available. Casa Verde is entirely free. You just need to qualify income-wise, and then your house has to qualify. We also have our home energy assessment program, which is free and is not income-based. So anyone of any income can ask us to go out to your home and do a home energy assessment. And while we're doing that, we're changing out about 30 light bulbs at a time to LED light bulbs. And so that's free of charge. And so if we can get y'all to consume less, then your energy bill will also be less. And these are available through those conservation programs, along with various rebates for gas appliances, HVAC, and even smart thermostats. But in regard to discounts and assistance, we at CPS Energy help fund a residential energy assistance program, which we which is short for REAP. It's not administered by CPS Energy, although we do fund it annually with $1 million. The City of San Antonio Department of Human Services facilitates this program on our behalf. You can go on to one of their online portals and apply online. You can get up to $400 annually to help cover energy costs. If you live outside of the City of San Antonio limits in suburban cities or unincorporated Bexar County, you can visit our Bexar County partners and apply for REAP assistance as well. We also offer an affordability discount program. It provides about, if you have gas and electric services, a discount of $147 annually. We also have senior citizen late fee waivers where, if you are of age and income qualifications, you'll never pay a late fee. We understand that individuals that are senior citizens typically have a standard set of income that comes in, and it might be time-based and their bill doesn't come in to correlate a timely payment. And we want to make sure that they don't have to pay late fees month over month. But additionally, I mentioned our customer response unit earlier. This group is a very special group. They do a lot of the things that Greg has mentioned previously in regard to bundled support. We are happy to have SAHA as our sister utility. We share great ideas back and forth, and what works for them or what works for us, we're quick to share that information. And so we do also help support customers in a whole life support type of situation, not just the utility aspect. And if we find an individual that needs something to help them with their daily lives, this group is constantly out in the community, meeting nonprofits, understanding what services they provide, and how can we mutually support each other. On average, we're providing customers with opportunities for food support, or even having items provided to them through our ACOG, or stairways or ramps being built, tubs for vets, different things. It's just whatever it is that we hear your story, and we provide that bundled support. So there's many things that are out there. If anybody has any questions, feel free to contact CPS Energy. We can go ahead and assist with a multitude of different programs, whether if you're a disadvantaged family, or someone that can benefit from the rebates, or if you want additional knowledge on our residential programs, we're happy to offer it.
Thank you. And Laura, just to be clear, there was a question saying, asking if Section 8 landlords, if they're eligible for Casa Verde.
Yeah, if there's this Casa Verde program is eligible for renters, and it's not predicated on whether it's Section 8, it's just renter in general. And so even if you're renting from a Section 8 landlord, as long as the tenant, the person that's renting the home, qualifies financially for it, we have a landlord form that the landlord will sign and give their authority for us to perform the work, and we'll be able to do so. And the Casa Verde program is up and running now.
Thank you. And Greg, just a question that they had posed was, not everybody has access to an online application, but y'all have hard copy applications as well, correct?
We do. And I did see that question. Yeah, it was a good one. And of course, pre-COVID, we were out in the community a lot, meeting with our neighbors and talking to them and giving them, paper applications right then and right there. So we're hoping we're going to start easing back into that over time. But as of right now, yeah, that's the fastest way that you can get your application processed is online. But we do have the paper copy still, sure.
Thank you. And Candelaria, some of the questions that they were posing was that in addition to access to digital services, equipment is a big issue as well, because they can get access, but if they have no equipment, then they can't get linked. Do you know of any affordability programs that could link community members to devices?
Yeah, so definitely there's Goodwill, who does this amazing program of taking in private businesses computers that kind of have end of life for that particular organization because they renew them. They take them, they have a program where they clean them up. They follow these really strict regulations. So if anybody has computers that they want to follow that process, please reach out to Goodwill. And then they sell them at an affordable price, across the city and several of their sites. So we can definitely share that as a follow-up if there's an opportunity to provide some links to that information. There's also another website that I don't recall the exact name to now, but we can also share to those that also provides refurbished devices with warranties, so that people can get them at an affordable price. So those are the two that I can think of. Obviously, I know SAHA works in conjunction with partners and has done Connect Home to work with Goodwill to provide digital literacy classes that at the end rewards the participants with the device. So those are just a few of the programs that I'm aware of available in the community. And I know Oaks has a program where they're working with the senior citizens and providing them classes and abilities to get some tablets and devices. So there's definitely different little pockets of programs happening throughout the city.
Thank you. Our next question is that, and I think we've all alluded to it, but due to COVID, there's been a lot of changes in how we practice. can y'all talk a little bit about anything that y'all implemented or different programming or activities in response to COVID?
We at CPS Energy, we have, in regard to accounts, we've conducted a disconnection moratorium. If you call us and discuss your payment arrangements, we're removing any late fees that have occurred during the entire COVID time period. Additionally, we're waiving deposits if you call us and express need. But additionally, we've updated our communication. You know, we have an outbound call campaign. This is the first time we've ever done such a thing. Usually we wait for our customers to call us, but we've identified a group of customers, you know, that appear to be struggling with their normal utility payments. And so we're reaching out. We're not demanding payment, but we're reaching out and asking them how they're doing. You know, we're asking, we're calling and expressing care for our customers. And if they talk to us about certain situations, then we've accumulated all of these resources that are in our community that provide not just utility assistance, but neighborhood housing services, provides rental support. There's different avenues for elderly. We've compiled all this information and we're verbalizing it to the customer over the phone, you know, and we've had a large amount of customer appreciation that we received back from these calls, because they never ever thought that they would receive a call from a utility, especially electric utility, just asking to see how they're doing, to ask, and then additionally providing them the support not just, like I said, for the utility, but for meals, for you know, different type of support that's in the community. And they're very much appreciative, and they'll sometimes even call us back, follow up with us, and let us know how much we impacted their lives, because no matter how much we try to promote the programs, share, you know, our community partners' information, not everything gets to a customer. You know, there's not everybody's included in the same channels of communication in which we provide this valuable information. And sometimes it is just that direct phone call, because of maybe the digital divide, that they're getting this information for the first time and completely enthralled with that there's help for them. And so they're very much appreciative. And so to date, we've done over 52,000 calls to customers just to express, you know, us caring for them, providing an understanding of where they are in their life, what challenges that they're embracing. And at times they just like to have an ear. And so we're taking that extra time on the phone than when someone would call us, and just listening and giving them that support. And to date, we've received over $18 million in utility assistance support, that's COVID funding. So that's one huge thing that we've done to embrace the community, is simply provide a different, simple channel of communication. Additionally, we compiled this information, all this COVID assistance communication, and we've developed flyers, and we've gone out to our different nonprofit communities, and we provided them this flyer and said, you know, here, when you have your customers, you know, because we want to make sure that individuals that are challenged digitally, they have this information on a flyer. They have phone numbers that are there. They also have websites, you know, but if they need a call, they have this number. They have a brief explanation of what this support is, and if it's valuable to them, they can go ahead and use it and call. And so we've gone out and we canvassed our nonprofits. We provided these flyers as well. And in regard to considerate customer care, we in non-COVID time period, we were in satellite offices in all 10 council districts physically, and providing this bundled support for our customers, helping them fill out applications, because sometimes some of these nonprofit applications are pages long. Sometimes it's a little hard for them to interpret what is needed. And so we're there helping them fill these out. So during COVID, we were definitely challenged and not been able to go out there physically. But we found locations. We found 3 locations so far that can help support us in doing this virtually. So they'll provide, they'll take appointments for us. They'll have a computer dedicated for our customer response unit to be virtually present for them to meet in their communities. And so they'll come in with documents, we'll call them, we'll let them know what they need, and then we'll start going through it with them virtually. And so we've offered that as a different opportunity, a different avenue for them to meet with us and not have to go to one of our service centers, not have to call us, but to see us, and do that all personally. And we continue to build partnerships all around the community. We do that very, very frequently with nonprofits. More recently, we developed a partnership with the San Antonio Legal Services Association. They found a huge need where there's an uptick in free legal aid due to COVID, and they're hearing there's additional need for utility support. And so we opened up that channel of communication to be able to receive referrals from this nonprofit agency.
I wanted to follow up with a Q&A question. And Laura, you touched on this, but the question was, what are SAHA residents supposed to do when we don't qualify for a discount program or do not meet the criteria of other discount programs? And it sounds to me like we have a vast array of resources available through CPS or through SAHS. And is there someone that this person or the residents can call in order to ascertain the best resource for them?
Well, we at CPS Energy, we've trained all of our energy advisors, with all the with this information of community channels of support and system and assistance. So if they want to call us at 353-2222 and just ask an energy advisor what can they do, then they'll go ahead and provide that support. And if the situation is unique enough, they'll contact us at our customer response unit, and they're available at cru@cpsenergy.com, and these will provide that considerate support there and help them navigate through whatever issues that they're incurring. But I'm not too sure why a SAHA resident wouldn't be able to qualify for the programs that we offer. Most of our programs are tailored to the incomes that comes along with a SAHA resident, unless they don't have an account, like Greg had mentioned. And so that's one real big key thing for us, is we can offer our programs, but they have to be direct customers with an account with us. So I would just say, I encourage them to call us, tell us, their unique situation, and we will be able to see how we can support them.
Yeah.
Laura, I think you're correct, because, and Greg, before you go into, because this question's for you. Another question was, if they're paying, like they're third party, so I'm living in an apartment and I'm paying my water bill to the apartment and I have plumbing issues, who's responsible for that? Is it the landlord, or can they go directly to SAHS?
Yeah, that is a landlord issue. If they're having plumbing issues within the unit itself, then they have to work that out with the unit. And that's part of, I think, part of our discussion. Karen Guz, our director of conservation, and we've had a lot of conversations about how we're going to work with multifamily units moving forward. Like, is there ways that we can start really doing that? Because and I don't know if it's completely different with CPS Energy, but most of your units are not sub-metered. We don't have a water meter for every single apartment, right? It's typically there's a meter put in for the unit or for the entire complex. And so that's kind of why we have to work that way. And instead of, that's why you have to be a direct SAHS customer, because we actually don't know exactly how much water you're using. But I'll also answer just real fast that yes, the same thing that Laura said. If a customer does call and after going through a process with one of our Uplift agents, they find out that they don't qualify because of income levels or whatever, we always will say, but we have these partners and here's who you need to call. Or sometimes we will even call the partner and put them in touch directly with those folks who actually have other sources of assistance that are available out there, financial assistance, grants, and things of that nature. So we're always constantly doing that and helping them out. And soon we're actually working on a portal that will be able to, and I think CPS Energy already has one. It's really great. We're going to be working on a portal that'll allow them to connect a lot more easily our neighbors to those resources. So we're working on some of those things right now as well.
Candelaria, would you like to add anything about any new services that have come about to address the needs based on COVID?
Yeah, I mean, I think I won't be a subject matter expert on everything, but yeah, I mean, the city has definitely stepped up with the rental assistance programs. I know that they added the internet as a option to kind of help pay for that utility as well for those that qualify for the program. I mean, I know there's been a lot of workforce development and small business pieces. The one that I can speak on a little bit more is the digital inclusion project that we're working on, the Connected Beyond the Classroom. Council did approve a little over $27 million for that piece and to help us connect those 20,000 students with 8 school districts, SAISD being one of them, Edgewood, Harlandale. So we're going to areas that truly are feeling the pinch of COVID and not having the connection that they need at home. And so we're really trying to get these students this technology and be able to connect them so that they can do everything that they need to do as far as their educational resources and attainment and exploration. So we're really excited about that project. We're in the mix of the pilot and SAISD, but we're already looking to how we're going to roll it out in Edgewood and Harlandale. So yeah, I think that's a foundational piece that we'll continue to explore to see how we can leverage in the future, as well as staying in the loop with SAHA's project that y'all are working on with Casiano and Alasan and Lincoln Heights. We're gonna be there to support and continue to see how that project works for y'all and share lessons learned.
Thank you. So one of our last questions will be, what safeguards or advice would you give to offer to your consumers to have them stay abreast on changes and opportunities? I see, a lot of questions where people were saying, well, I thought this program was defunct, or I thought this was happening. What advice would you give to have people have the most current information, or to make sure that all those opportunities that are out there are like legit and beneficial to them? And I think Laura wanted to address this.
Yeah, I would say, first of all, follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and even YouTube. We have some great videos there. Or you can subscribe to our CPS Energy newsroom. We use all of these platforms to share information about various topics. One sensitive item that has come up lately has been scammers, because, there's an inability to pay some of these bills because of this COVID time period. There has been an advantage that scammers have been taking lately to call our customers and start to demand payment. And they'll call them and say, we're going to be there within the next hour to cut off your services. If you don't go and buy a gift card, and call us back at this 1-800 number and give us information on this prepaid card or whatever it is. CPS Energy doesn't do business like that. We don't take transactions over the phone. We don't take any dollars over the phone. We don't initiate that stuff. The way to pay your bill is through one of our approved retailers like HEB, coming into a walk-in center, or calling our 1-800 number and paying through our online portal. But you can always call CPS Energy back at 210-353-2222 if you ever get a phone call that's demanding payment, so you can validate whether it was us or not. Additionally, let us know what that phone number is. We have the ability to be able to work with the FCC and have that phone number turned off and disconnected. So we take all scams reports seriously. We work and we with our legal team to do a cease and desist, because we want to ensure that our community is not scammed. I think it was last year where with reports we had over $50,000 of people of scammed dollars from our community, and we want to ensure that times are tough right now, dollars are tight, and we want to ensure that you're not getting scammed. So please let us know.
Any
Yeah.
other comments, Greg? Do you want to point us out to the right place to stay updated with SAHs?
Yeah, trying to get unmuted. Sorry about that. Same thing. I mean, we are not going to call you and say that you owe us money and you better pay up. I was going to mention this earlier, but we've done the same thing. We have a moratorium on disconnections for non-payment. So, we're not shutting off for non-payment right now. What we do have available for you as a reminder, and Laura alluded to this a while ago as well, is that you can make a payment arrangement with us. And in fact, we've actually created a self-payment arrangement portal where you can go in and make your own payment arrangement for 3, 6, or 9 months. And so we really would like for you to do that. And so, yeah, we're not going to call and say we're coming over, or call and say that we're going to shut your water off tomorrow or anything of that nature. If you get any of those kinds of calls, it's a scam. They're trying to scam you. I think both CPS Energy and SAHs would say the exact same thing. The other thing is too, just kind of another note that, we're not going to show up at your door either, knock on your door and say, we have to come inside your house. And especially if there's no uniform, if there's no ID, anything of that nature, and just be wary of all of those kinds of scams that are going on out there for sure. We're not gonna be doing that.
Thank you. Do you have any other questions, Kristen? I'm looking through the questions Q&A, and I think we've addressed a bunch of them. Some of the questions are just asking, where SAHA is moving to provide internet access to Section 8 residents. I know SAHA is looking at addressing some connectivity for public housing. That will be coming out, more information on that. Who's responsible when the property works with a third party regarding water? I think we addressed that. If they have a bill, then it would be the individual. They can work directly with SAHs. If they don't have a SAHS bill, then it would be the landlord. I'm learning so much from Greg. Let's see, what help could organizations push for in order to try to classify the internet as a necessary utility? And I think Candelaria mentioned a little bit about that. I don't know if there's anything that a community member can do to move that forward.
I mean, I think it's just all about the power of your voice, let your city council member or your commissioner just know that you're passionate about this issue. We're definitely is one of the items that it's on our agenda to continue having conversations about, and taking it to the conversations in Austin and DC later this year. So yeah, I mean, I think it's an ongoing conversation for the school districts. It's an ongoing conversation for us as a municipal government. So yeah, I mean, I think if you're interested, reach out. There's a lot of organizations that are working on this effort now. And we're just trying to use the momentum to kind of continue to keep moving forward. And hopefully with this new administration, it'll also open up some opportunities for potential funding for, new projects in the future, infrastructure. So yeah, we're hopeful that we have the right people in the conversation to open up some opportunities in the near future.
Yeah, I think, Susan, that kind of leads into another question on here regarding that current shortfall on funding for public assistance and the fact that the new president has made that one of his top priorities. So they mentioned, before the pandemic, communities were suffering from affordability crisis on all aspects, whether in housing, utilities, homelessness, digital divide, and now with COVID, vaccine inequities with the rollout of dosages, So what are you all working on to continue to tackle these issues with your current budget shortfalls, and how will you offer assistance for the residents who have no computer or internet service?
As I mentioned earlier, we're still out in the community virtually We're looking into conducting more pop-ups starting in the spring. Additionally, we have virtual community fairs. We'll start those back up in March, and so they can get customers can get additional information. Following us on our social media platforms will give you access to dates and links to access for many of these programs. But we at CPS Energy, we follow people first mentality. It's one of our foundational items that we do follow, and people first is, it's our customers, it's our community, it's our employees. And so those our community programs, our residential programs, they're in no way going away. They're going to continue to be followed and pursued and potentially enhanced. So that's our budget shortfalls. We're handling those internally. We're identifying what projects are needed to sustain our reliability service, our resiliency in service. And so anything that is not immediately necessary, we're putting a hold on those items. Additionally, we're just managing other things internally just to ensure that we have the ability to continue to fund our programs.
Yeah, and the same. We're really taking care of that internally. I will say, though, I have some hope because a friend of mine, acquaintance, but a friend of mine was just appointed last week by the Biden administration as the new water connection for the EPA, for Environmental Protection Agency. And she has a big time heart for affordability, for low income, for those kinds of things. And so her and I had already talked a couple of months ago about the fact of how important it is. And sure enough, last week they made a press announcement that she is going to be in charge of water for EPA. And I know her heart, and we've never really seen any federal dollars come toward water, really. And so I'm hopeful for that. I'm not going to necessarily count on it, but definitely hopeful for it moving forward in the future.
So it looks like we're nearing the end. I saw one of the questions that said, how do we know how many public housing and Section 8 people are enrolled in these affordability programs? And the answer is probably we don't know. But the good thing is that we're all talking as evidenced by this session. And so we're going to keep talking and sharing information, and hopefully we'll make sure that a lot more are taking advantage of these programs. So if there wasn't any other closing remarks, I think we're going to end here, and we're going to encourage people to go back to your agenda. If you want to go to the next session, you would have to leave this one, go to your agenda so you can join the next session. And we thank you for your time, and we thank the panelists for this lively conversation. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for your partnership. Appreciate the time today.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye.